Hello and welcome back to Infinite Roleplay. My name is Nelson, your totally immersed power gamer, and today we're going to be having a little RPG chat about how to create your very first fantasy age character and how easy it is. Now, what I'm going to be using is the basic rules. There are variants listed in the book for point buy and blah blah blah, but the core, the start, the way it's meant to be is how we're going to be making our first character today. Now, what I have on screen is the chart for determining your ability scores. For those of you who are used to games like Dungeons and Dragons, where you have your ability score and ability modifier, this is not entirely different from that. You roll your 3d6, and that dictates what your starting ability score is. That's why I have the chart up. In all actuality, the number for your starting ability is also used as your modifier. So no consulting, or memorizing abilities, modifiers, charts, all that stuff. This is just to show you real quick. And we're going to be using a fillable PDF. Aren't they wonderful? So, name, I don't know the name. I don't know nothing. I don't know a damn thing. But let's start filling stuff out. I got 3d6 here. 3d6 is pretty much all you need to play the entire game. That and some high octane fuel. High octane fuel optional, of course. Let's roll our accuracy. Bam! I got an 11, and that translates into an ability rating of 1. That's all we need. Roll our communication. Accuracy is, of course, your accuracy. It's what you use for ranged attacks and pretty much spell attacks too, I believe. Oh, this is a wonderfully interesting score. I got a 5, and on the chart, that's a -1. So, I'm pretty decent in accuracy, I suppose, but my ability to talk is not. It's not grand. What's this pop-up? Go away, pop-up. All right. So now this is another 11. So my Constitution, which is fairly self-explanatory, it's how tough you are. And for the first few levels throughout Fantasy Age, it gives you some bonus hit points. Is 1. Dexterity is next. And again, pretty self-explanatory. It's how dexterous you are, your basic hand-eye coordination, your acrobatic skills, and whatnot. And he's not very dexterous. I rolled a 4, and a 4 is -1. So, the interesting thing about Fantasy Age is, as you can see, I can have a negative to my dexterity, but a positive to my accuracy. So I'm not very acrobatic. I don't have very good hand-eye coordination. My character may not even be able to do the itsy-bitsy spider. But he can shoot the shit out of a gun or an arrow, right? Fighting. Okay. Another great stat. Fighting is the melee version of accuracy. It's your ability to hit consistently in melee combat. Oh, look at that. I have, what is that, 11, 12. And a 12 gives me a 2 fighting. Boom, baby! So yeah, right now, I'm best at melee combat. Intelligence. Yeah. If your intelligence score is in the negatives, you need me to explain what an intelligence score is. If not, good. Alright, interesting. 3 4s is a 12, giving me a 1 intelligence. Wonderful, wonderful. Percepciones, also known as perception. How well you can hear or see, pick up on little clues and whatnots, is 9, 10, 11, 12. Look at that. So that's also a +1. Why is this being funny? Okay. Strength. Again, strength is, of course, how strong you are, and that's separate from fighting in Fantasy Age. So, as you can see, I have a fighting of 2. I may end up being pathetically weak, but good in melee combat, being able to hit constantly. Let's see what happens. Ooh, 12. Alright, not bad. So I have a positive strength. So for my melee damage, I will be able to add 1 to my damage. And hit fairly consistency. Hit fairly consistently. Because my fighting score is a 2. Last score, of course, is willpower. And, you know, willpower is willpower. Your power of your will. It's fairly self-explanatory. It's like when somebody says, go to hell, and you go, no. You're using your willpower. Got a 6 willpower. Okay, that's only a 0. Alright. So that's how quickly you can get stats. Not hard at all. Alright, race. There's supposed to be a race button here, right? Class, level. I'm making it level 1. Experience points 0, because we're level 1. Starting character. Power, speed, cash out, name. I don't know, where's race? There's no race feature in here? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So anyway, we're going to go to races. Now, the races in Fantasy Age, I can't speak or think correctly because I need some more of that high octane fuel. Alright, Fantasy Age races. Listed currently in the core rulebook are dwarves, elves, gnomes, halflings, humans, and orcs. Not half orcs, orcs. They are a player race. Now, you can get a half orc, but the way Fantasy Age works, you can get a half breed of anything there. I'll make a separate video just going over that, so we won't do that here. You guys want to make a dwarf? Let's make a dwarf, right? Dwarves are interesting. Courageous and stalwart, dwarves are known for their skill at arms and their talent as miners and builders. And more fluff. You know, purchase your PDFs, open them up, and you can read all the fluff you like. Or make up your own fluff. Dwarf names: male, Bodag, Crag, Dauphin, Hador. Word, Hador Highcliff. That's interesting, right? Kind of like Hodor. Hador Highcliff. Let's hope with a name like Hador Highcliff, he's some sort of special person. So I'm just going to put in here that he's a dwarf, so we remember. Let's see, playing a dwarf. If you choose to play a dwarf, modify your character as follows. Add 1 to your Constitution ability. Alright, so my Constitution goes up to 2. Awesome. Pick one of the following ability focuses: Constitution drinking or Intelligence evaluation. Well, I have to do this. Drinking. Oh. Damn pop-up's messing me up. Okay, what a focus basically does in Fantasy Age is give you a +2 modifier to your roll, so you add 2 to any rolls that constitute that focus. Like I have a focus in drinking, so if I go out and I'm drinking liquor, maybe it's my ability to not get dead drunk, right? So, for instance, you go out, you're like, hey, we're going to get some information for this dude. Let's get him really drunk so we kidnap him. The dwarf goes, I've got it. I have a focus in drinking. You know, whatever, right? Okay, moving right along. We have dark sight. So, put in dark sight. Because we're dwarves, right? Because we are dwarves. We're diggy dwarves. Dark sight, which allows you to see up to 20 yards in darkness. See up to 20 yards in darkness. Without a light source. I know. It's kind of self-explanatory. So, now that we have dark sight, the dwarves' speed is equal to 8 plus their dexterity, minus any on penalties, you know. It's just cool. 8 plus dexterity, right? So my dexterity is -1. So my speed is 7. What that basically means is that your speed is how many yards you can move in a round in a single move action, right? So I can move 7 yards, so 21 feet. Not too far off from other games like Dungeons and Dragons. However, depending on how dexterous you are, how athletic or acrobatic you are, your speed can definitely increase, which is amazing. I think that's beautiful to have that difference in not just race but individual. It makes your character feel more like an individual, right? Maybe I'm just reading too much into it. So with the speed, we can speak dwarven and common tongue. It basically means we can speak English and English with a Scottish accent. Terrible. Alright, next we have to roll twice on the dwarf benefits table for additional benefits. Roll 2d6 and add the dice together. If you get the same result twice, re-roll until you get something different. So I have the chart up here. I'm grabbing my 2d6 and I will roll twice. Alright, that's weapon group axes. Okay. So basically that's giving me a proficiency in the weapon group of axes. If I remember correctly, with proficiency I can add my fighting to attacks that I make with weapon groups that I'm proficient in. But with this as a racial benefit, if I take a class that gives proficiency with the weapon group axes, I can instead get a focus. So that deserves a little star. Because we're probably going to go fighter with this dwarf. And he's going to be focused, meaning whenever he uses an axe in melee combat, he's going to get an additional 2 to all his attack rolls. Which is great, right? Let's roll 2d6 again, see what happens. Ooh. Focus intelligence. Historical lore. Alright, so I have a focus in historical lore and drinking, which probably means he gets drunk with the really smart people and gets them to talk about history. So cheers. I so need coffee. Alright, so that's all the racial stuff from Doors. Let's give him a class. Now, there are 3 classes in Fantasy Age. Later on, there are also specializations available for further customization, but we won't even get into that. We're making our very first Fantasy Age character. Now, the choices are a mage, a rogue, and a warrior. Now, this character would dictate warrior, right? Should I randomize it? Okay, before we make a choice on what our character class is, let's see if we can find what our backgrounds are. Okay, and to generate a background, because you don't choose a background, you generate a background. It's random. So first, we have to determine our social class. Roll a d6 to determine your social class. That's good. I rolled a 6 on the d6, which means we're upper class. So social class upper, baby. With a name like Highcliff, you would hope that he's upper class, right? Now that we know we're upper class, we roll on the upper class background chart to see what our background is. There are 6 options, so we roll a d6. And we got a 3. A noble. So we are a noble dwarf. There goes that pop-up again. Yeah. See if that fixed it. Anyway, back to creating our Fantasy Age character. We are a dwarven noble. So, the dwarven noble gets to choose a focus. There's 2 focuses available to choose from. So, either communication etiquette or intelligence heraldry. The communication of our character is a -1. So the focus will help offset our inability to communicate. But we could have a focus in heraldry. And we're a drunk, right? I think that'd be interesting to have the focus in intelligence heraldry. So that we're bad at communication. We have no etiquette. And we love to drink. Wonderful. Okay. Man, that happened so fast, so easy. I still don't know what class, character class I want. We won't be great as a mage. Now, the rogues are very interesting. But we have a negative dexterity, so we really would suffer as a rogue. I would have loved to not go the exact trope of having a dwarven fighter, but a dwarven warrior really is what this character is just dictating we become, right? So, we have a list of starting talents. We become novice in 2 of the following talents: archery, dual weapon, pole weapon, single weapon, throwing, two-hander, unarmed, and shield styles. So we choose 2 of those. Right? Talents, weapon group, axes. Oh, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. What do we automatically get? Primary ability focuses: Constitution, Dexterity, Fighting, and Strength. So Constitution, Dexterity, Fighting, and Strength. That's important for when you're leveling up. Okay? Because specific levels, you must level your primary abilities. There are levels where if you wanted to level an ability, your primary abilities take precedence over your secondary abilities. Your secondary abilities are any ability that's not your primary ability. That's only during leveling up. Your starting health is 30 plus your constitution plus a d6. Our current constitution is 2, so it's 32 plus a roll on the d6, which is a 5. So 32 and 5 is maths 37. So we have 37 starting health. Wonderful. Base defense is equal to 10 plus your dexterity score. Ours is a negative dexterity score, giving us a defense of 9. We're not wearing any armor currently. We haven't gotten to that stage, so we'll wait to fill that out until later. We our weapon groups for a fighter: brawling. We always get brawling, plus any 3 of the following. Well, I'm going to go axes. That way I can have the focus. So, weapon groups, axes, and then have the focus. Did I spell focus? Focus! So, focus axes. Get rid of that. So, brawling, axes, and 2 more groups. Black powder? Why not? He's a dwarf. Let's go black powder. And light blades, right? Black powder and light blades. Because he's a noble, he may have had to duel in the past. Alright, so that's what we... Brawling. dude. I'm getting too ghetto over here. So those are our weapon groups. So the weapons that we're good with. Talents. We become novices. Archery style, dual weapon style. All fighters are novices in armor training, so let's put that down. I want to be proficient in the weapon and shield style, because why not, right? Having a shield dwarf by your side is always a good thing. You know, a tank in any group is always welcome. So weapon and shield. Weapon and shield, and what else? I can only choose two between weapon and shield and two-hander? Yeah, two-hander, why not? And that's all that we get for being a level 1. Now we have to choose, since we've chosen our class, generated our backgrounds, stats, and whatnot. Let's go to starting equipment. Right, gaining levels. No. Starting equipment. Now, every character in Fantasy Age starts with a backpack, traveling garb. You know what? I really don't think you need to see me select equipment to know how to create a character, because this is the most self-explanatory part of any game, pretty much. You know, you get your money, you get your starting gear, you buy whatever else you want. So we'll just go to generating money and upper class. Okay? Upper class gets 100 plus 3d6 silver pieces. So this character would start off with 104 silver pieces. Then we go to our starting equipment. We load all that, and we can modify our equipment, add to our equipment by buying things with those 104 silver pieces. I think that's really all we need to get into for our first Fantasy Age character, our dwarven fighter. So this is how to create a noble dwarven fighter who likes to drink. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope it was informative, and hope to see you playing some Fantasy Age. Run some games in the future. Until then, peace.